Hello friends, how are you all? This is Lakshay Road and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I will be sharing some real-time DevOps interview questions. So these are the questions which I face personally in my DevOps interview. So I will be sharing with you guys. So let's start. So the first question which like I was asked in almost every interview was like give me a brief introduction. Like I will be writing as well in the screen so you can note it down. Brief intro of your roles and responsibilities, what you do on a daily basis. So this is mostly the first question which every interviewer asks you to understand, like what are your technical skills, on what tech stacks you have worked, what are your roles and responsibilities, what do you do on a daily basis. So typically this is like not a difficult question. You can simply answer that on the basis of your project, what exactly you're doing, what exactly like you are troubleshooting in your project, what are the type of tickets that you work upon, so you can answer on that. So for example, just to give you a brief idea on that, you can answer like I basically look into the troubleshooting part, work on the assigned task and user stories, do some updates in our pipelines, variable updates in our pipelines, checking for any build and release failures, so like that, maintaining Azure infra. So you can answer that like that. And the second question which I was asked, so before moving on further, I would like to tell you that interviewers mostly ask questions on the basis of your resume. So the questions which you I'm sorry, the tech stacks which you have written in your resume, so on the basis of that only interviewer will ask questions. So this is the first thing you need to keep in mind. So only write those tech stacks and technical skills in your resume on which you are comfortable and you're confident, so that you will be able to answer the interview questions. So let's come back. And the second question which I was asked about, some Git questions were asked. Git related questions were asked. These were simple, actually theoretical based questions. So what is Git rebase? What is the difference between Git rebase and Git merge? And what type of a version control system is Git? Is it a distributed control or centralized version control system? So type of version control system. Okay, so this was the second question as far as I remember about Git. And the third question was about a scenario based question. So that question was related to Docker scenario based question. So this question was, let's suppose you are running a website on a Docker container, and you are running a website on a Docker container, and whenever you stop that Docker container and again rerun that Docker container, you want that website to come up with the same data. So let's suppose you are running a website www.xyz.com, and certain students are enrolling into this website. They are enrolling their name, age and their qualification in this website, and this website is being run as a Docker container. And let's suppose there is a requirement that you need to stop these Docker containers and again run these Docker containers. But the main condition here is that the students which have enrolled into this website, the students which are given their personal details on this website, should have their data. The data should not be lost. So how you can manage this scenario? So this was a pretty easy question. So you can use Docker volume in that case. So what Docker volume is that? Docker volume basically provides persistent data, because every Docker container is not persistent. That means if you store any data in any Docker container and that container goes down, and when you again spin up that container, the data will not be there in that container, because there is no persistent storage with Docker. So for that you can mount Docker volumes. So this is how you can handle this type of scenarios. And now let's move on to the next question, that was based on Ansible. So I was asked to write a Ansible playbook. So I have actually worked pretty much on Ansible as well. So I was asked to write a playbook. So you can also be asked, if you have written Ansible in your resume, then you might get a question from Ansible. So I was asked to write in a playbook. And apart from that, I was also asked like what are roles in Ansible, roles structure, what is the role structure in Ansible. So this was also one of the question which I was asked from Ansible. So roles are nothing, they are just like reusable components in Ansible. So role structure, roles basically when you will create a role using Ansible command, then a form of directory structure gets created. That directory structure contains different folders like your template folder, vars folder, hosts folder. So you can just Google it and you will get a very good answer about Ansible roles and structure. So here I'm just telling you the questions which you can prepare. And next question, as far as I remember, that was on Kubernetes. So difference between replica and replication manager in Kubernetes. So this was the question which I got on Kubernetes, difference between replica and replication manager in Kubernetes. You can simply Google it and you will come to know. Next question was explain complete CI CD flow to deploy an application on K8s. So this was one of the like tricky question, not tricky question, you can say just like a good question which I was asked. So the question was like how explain how you can build a complete CI/CD flow to deploy an application on Kubernetes. So here you need to answer complete end-to-end CI/CD flow. Like let's suppose if we take an example of Python based application, then you need to start from scratch. Like you need to have a Python code, requirements.txt files needs to be there. Then you need to build that code maybe using Azure DevOps and Jenkins, and after that create an artifact, deploy that artifact onto Docker. How you will do that? You can basically pull that artifact and push it to Docker Hub, create an image, launch a container, and then deploy a container on Kubernetes. So you can follow any blog and read about it and you will be able to answer it. And the next question was on load balancer versus application gateway. So what is this was about difference between load balancer. So next question was about what is the difference between load balancer and application gateway. So if you have worked on Azure, then you must be knowing that Azure has a service called load balancer as well as application gateway, but there is a difference between the two. So this you can Google out. Load balancer is all about balancing the load to the backend virtual machines, and it works on layer 4 I'm sorry, and application gateway works on layer 7 of the OSI model. And application gateway gives you you can say URL based routing, which load balancer does not give you. Load balancer only gives you source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port based routing. So you can read more on Google and figure out the difference between the two. And so one question, and the next question was related to the above one. If I need to have a URL based routing, then what I can use? So this question was pretty easy. If you know the answer of 7th question, then you will definitely be able to answer 8th question. So the question was, if I need to have a URL based routing or a host based routing, then what I can use, load balancer or application gateway? Then definitely the answer is application gateway. We can use application gateway for host based routing. And next question, I'm sorry, there is some issue. Yeah, sorry. So next question was on Linux. Before Linux, I got a question in my mind. It was on scripting. So depending on the type of scripting you have mentioned, you will be asked a question on scripting. So since I know PowerShell, I have worked pretty much on PowerShell, so I was asked a PowerShell scripting question. Not question, it was actually a demand to write a PowerShell script. So the question was, let's suppose you have a file in which lot of logs are there. You have a file and in which application is sending logs into that file, but you need to query only the logs for a particular date. So let's suppose if I give you a rough idea, this is the date of the log and log type. So if I take date 6th May 2021, log type is application log, and 8th May 2021 system log, and similarly I can take any date xxx x y type of application log a. So let's suppose you have a file like this in which there are two columns, the log type. There can be many more columns. I'm just giving you an example. Like there is one column which contains date and the other column which contains the log types. So how you can filter the logs based on a particular date using a PowerShell. Let's suppose you want to find out the logs for 8th of May. Then how you can filter out the logs using PowerShell script. So this was my question. You can definitely start writing a PowerShell script, start practicing, start googling, and definitely you will be able to do that. And apart from this scripting question, I was asked some Linux based Linux questions, so that were pretty easy. How you can check free memory disk usage in Linux, and if I want to check network statistics in Linux systems and how you can do that. So that is easy. You can use netstat command. So these were the basic questions for from Linux. And apart from that, there were questions in Azure as well, which I have mentioned in my resume, like what is private endpoint connectivity, in Azure. So yeah, this was the question I got in Azure. So mostly the thing I want to say is that you will be asked those questions only which you have mentioned in your resume. The tech stacks which you have mentioned in your resume, your questions will be there from that only, most probably. And I'm trying to recall some other questions. Yeah, one more question was there. Let's suppose you have a CI pipeline and you want to deploy your artifact to different environments using CD pipelines. So the question was, let's suppose you have a build pipeline, your artifact is there in your artifact feed, and you want to deploy that artifact to different environments using a single CD pipeline. So how you can do that? So I answered that we can basically variabilize our CD pipelines. So actually I'm using Octopus Deploy for our deployment. I'm not using Azure DevOps. I'm using Azure DevOps for only the build part, and for the deployment part I'm using Octopus Deploy. So if you want to have a only single CD pipeline and that pipeline needs to deploy to different environments, then you can make use of variables and parameters. So Octopus Deploy has a concept of variables and parameters. You can simply change that variables and parameters and pass your deployment onto different environments. So this is how I tackled this question. And next question was on Terraform, because I mentioned these things in my resume. So I was asked, what is Terraform Workspace? So Terraform Workspace is just like a container which is used to hold your state files. It basically provides isolation. Just like we have namespaces in our Kubernetes, similarly we have workspaces in Terraform. And the next question was related to the above question only, question number 13. How can you handle deployments to different environments? So let's suppose let's suppose I have three environments, dev, test and prod. So how I can handle my Terraform code so that it can deploy the same code to multiple environments. The condition is I don't want to write the Terraform code again and again for each of the environment. I just want to use the same code and the code gets deployed to different environments. So this question is related to the above question only. I can make use of workspaces in Terraform. So as I told, Terraform workspace is just like a container. I can basically make use of Terraform workspaces and create the copy of state files and keep all that copied state files in different workspaces. So to explain you better, let's suppose I have three environments, dev, test and prod. I can create three workspaces, one for dev, one for test and one for prod, and copy the same state file to different workspaces and then use the state file for the deployment to different environments. So this is how I can manage. And next question was write a Terraform code to create a Azure VM. So this was like not a question again, the request to write a script. So I was asked to write a script, because when you are saying in your interview that you have worked on Terraform code, you know scripting, blah blah blah, so then definitely they will ask you, they will test you whether you know or not. So I was asked to write a Terraform code to create an Azure virtual machine. So that is pretty easy. You just need to declare the Terraform provider section and then create a vars.tf file, declare your variables over there, and your main code comes in main.tf file. You can start creating your virtual machine. You can say in the reverse fashion. First you can create public IP address, you can create virtual networks, NSGs, network interfaces, and after all that is done, then you can start creating your own virtual machine. You can simply go to Terraform documentation and just take a look at the code. And apart from that, I think these were the questions which are asked, and like yeah, as of now I am able to recall only these much questions. So if I get any more questions in my mind, then definitely I will create a separate video for that. And I hope this video will help you guys, the guys who are preparing for the DevOps interview. So this video will definitely help them. And just to let you know, like this is applicable for 3+ years experience. So my experience is currently 3 years and 1 month. So guys who are having experience in this range, maybe 4 years experience also, they can also watch for 4.5 years. So these questions are applicable for that range only. So yeah, that's it guys. Thank you for watching this video and hope you have liked it. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can leave your comments in the comment section. I will definitely try to answer. Thank you again. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.